All right, this is chicken of the woods. Beautiful little mushroom. There's actually another one way up there that's also growing. And this tree, I think it's about 20 or so feet in diameter. It's been here long before my parents moved here 35 years ago. And when they moved here, it was about this size. A major storm really damaged it, and they cut it back this year. And for the first time, she's producing those. So I'm gonna make some cream of mushroom soup, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. Hey everybody, welcome back. Duane and Nadia's Food, Travel, and Fun. Yep, I'm Duane, and I'm back in the kitchen. It's been a while. Been looking forward to doing some more cooking, and we are in the fall season, and something great happened this year. We got a bunch of wet weekends. I know, it actually didn't make me very happy at first until I was going to my mom's house the other day and looked up at this tree and I saw what is called chicken of the woods mushroom. It's a beautiful, very common in this Massachusetts area mushroom in the right season, in the right conditions, and boy, did we get those this year. And it just so happens that a man who works with my wife was getting this brown one called Hen of the Woods. And he had more than he could use, and she got some from him, and I was like, oh my God, I was gonna make chicken of the woods cream of mushroom soup, and now I get to make hens and chickens cream of mushroom soup. So here we are. This is all the ingredients. As you can see, I will put all of this in a recipe that I will lay out for you. I have a couple extra things in here that are not required. They're optional things, but I like it. Personally, I like parsley. Some people like thyme. Substitute, either or. I grew these. These are Portuguese red peppers, and I love them. I also love shishitos, but I had some of these right here. So I chopped up a little bit to go in. Optional. You don't have to put any pepper, like fresh pepper. It's an optional. You should use the half cup of diced onions. But if you like to change it up a little bit, try it out. You can use button mushrooms from the store. You can use, pre-sliced. Preferably, you're better off slicing them yourself because you can actually make nice little chunks that you wouldn't otherwise. You don't have to use slices. You can use little cube-sized pieces, kind of diced it up. So that's really about it. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I've done this crock pot. I've done this on the stove, and it's late. I got to work in the morning, so we're going to do it on the stove a little quick. I'll bring you right back once I really get all of this laid out, and maybe I'll chop up some of the mushrooms ahead of time. I don't think you need to see every little detail how I bring it all together, but you can see it all together and see how quickly it goes on the stove. This will actually be done start to finish. Cook time, I'd say easily in under a half an hour. So in the crock pot, you need about 5 hours to do the process. So that would put me sometime after midnight. We're doing it on the stove. I'll be right back, and maybe I'll do a little warp speed in the middle for you, just so you can kind of watch me getting where we got to go with the mushrooms. And that's about it. All right, I figured I'd bring you back really quick. Got all my stuff prepared except for the mushrooms, which I'll warp speed through for you. Because all of these go together, this isn't just parsley, this is parsley, salt, pepper, and yeah, you know what? I remembered to add some garlic. So I use garlic powder as well. You'll see it all in the recipe. Got my onions, my peppers, my optional peppers. That's the butter. Got my sour cream, got my flour. Got all this stuff ready to chop. And my chicken broth, and I've on the stove in a pan ready to warm up. I actually did start to warm it a bit and I turned it off, is the light cream. So it's going to be really quick when the time comes. So let me zip through this and we'll get over to the stove. So as you quickly saw me doing in this time lapse, warp speed, whatever, I chopped up both of these, not just enough to really show you live what's going on and show you the difference. But I wanted to show, because I'm using two types of mushrooms, the chicken and the hen. The hen is a much more delicate mushroom than the chicken. The chicken is meaty. Like the hen is like a tofu texture, and the chicken's like steak. So you want the soft, because they're going to cook together, you want to make sure they cook fairly equally. The best way to do that and to keep a good, consistent texture in your meal is to make the meatier one much smaller. So you get little pieces like this compared to pieces like this, right? And that's the idea. And so you can actually see it. I'm going to bring you in closer and focus on this, and you'll be able to, I believe, hear the difference even. So let's bring you right up here and aim you down to where I know you're seeing what I'm about to do. All right. So we'll start with the hen, which is, as you'll see, I go right through. There's not much sound. It's a delicate cut, even in the thicker parts. That's how it goes. Now, I won't even start with the woody part of it, although, as you can see, this is a really, I mean, look, I'm squeezing hard. I really gave it a squeeze, and you almost can't tell anything even happened. So, right? See how she cuts much harder. The knife is very sharp, so it goes through pretty well either way. But I'm going to keep these chunks nice and small. I don't want to have, it's not woody at all. It's just dense. It's got resistance that you don't get in any part of the hen. So you want to make sure, don't leave any of these. You got that? Get it even smaller. Okay, I mean, it's so, hey, you got a couple chewy mushroom pieces. There you go, there's some texture there. But when you get to a real hefty piece of this mushroom, this is like the base near the tree. You really have to, you might cut it this way and then really come back and cut it again. You want to get that diameter nice and small, both directions, so that you know you can make nice consistent shapes, nice little cubes, all through the entire batch. And that's what we're doing. Getting my nice little cubes. These might even be a little big, but that's okay. I'm looking for some big ones that I want to take down, give an extra cut into. Yeah, not bad. There we go. So that helps ensure you get a nice cook through on both. If you really want to go the same size, it extends the project here a bit, and you'll have to start the woody ones first and then add the softer ones a few minutes later. But you got to make a good judgment call. It's better to do a smaller size on one and a bigger size on the other and be able to have them go at the same time. It works out a lot easier, at least for me. And remember, all of this is you do what you like, you don't do what you take what you will from my recipe. You don't have to follow it to the letter. Heck, next time around, I probably won't have those peppers. Next time around, I might not want to throw something different. Maybe I want some chicken, actual chicken in there. Maybe I'm just using regular, porcinis or buttons or maybe whatever. This is cooking. It should be enjoyable and taste it as you go. The end result is always good when you can have fun and go along the way and feel at least a little confident. And if you're not so confident, you will be the next time. You'll learn something. And I will see you at the start. All right, here we are. I have everything I need. Let me start this up. There we go. This is a really high burner, so I'll leave it kind of at a medium, but it's really like a high for many other burners. and add in the chicken stock. And I could add the vegetables and stuff right away, but I'm actually going to turn it up really nice and high. And the only thing I'm going to add is, this is the seasonings. And that's got salt, pepper, garlic, and parsley. And just let that go in to start. I this was fresh parsley, it was my own, but I dried it. So it's still, you know, it's dried parsley. The recipe calls for fresh, but a way to work this recipe is to do what I'm doing. Just take it, and this will nicely hydrate and really get a lot of flavor in there from the veggies if you're not using fresh. And I mean from the herbs. And in this case, I mean, I'm not using fresh garlic. I'm using powdered. You know, and even when I do use like a fresh minced garlic, very often it's from a can. I mean, from the jar. And it works great, and it saves so much time, and people do love it. So this is warming up quick. It is actually on nice and high now all the way, just for this initial, let's say if it's warm. It's warm, so I'm gonna let it go for another minute. And I'm not trying to get it to cook down or anything. I just wanted it to get warm. And all of this is going to go in. So it's going to come back to hot again much faster than if I put all of this in and waited for it to all kind of come up together. So just a different approach. So I'm going to put the small things in first. These onions and peppers. If you were just doing onions, that's fine. That would go in. And essentially do the same approach one last little time. This doesn't need more than like a parboil time. We're going to leave this here for barely a minute because I got nice mushrooms that do need some good cook time, especially as we discussed these. And I'm gonna put these in, favor these first. Once it actually hits a boil, I will add the other batch. I could add them together. Some went in there. It's okay. Some of the, you know, hens went in with the chickens. But once again, I'm gonna cut the heat back a touch because I really did my work a minute ago. Get it back to that medium high heat instead of just a true high. Let it all come up. I'm not gonna let it boil or cook. I'm just kind of keeping the heat in the same range as each step goes along. It's not super important at this stage, but it will be when we add in the light cream. Your light cream will curdle if you boil it up too fast. And that's why when you're warming it, you don't want it to boil. And unlike the chowder I like to make, this recipe doesn't call for heavy. It's a light. And I say this recipe because I've kind of done it as a composite of other people's recipes, as their ideas. And now it's become my own because it's a little bit different, but I didn't create it any more than I created Campbell's soup. And I love Campbell's cream of mushroom. Grew up on it. It was great. So, all right. Let me taste. Temp. Oh, and taste is nice. Got the garlic came through. I like that. Warm. Needs a few more seconds. I can even squeak a little more heat out of it. Really trying to get that temp and keep it nice and balanced. Give the chicken a slight advantage cook time over the more delicate hen. So, it's coming. And it's about to go in. It's very pretty at this point. So let me bring you in close just so you can even see where it's at. This is far from cream of mushroom soup, but what a great looking base we got here. I'll bring it right back. So there you go. It's been 3 seconds. I just wanted to bring you in nice. But look at how, I mean, the peppers, should give nice coloration. That mushroom, this chicken mushroom, has got great color. And guess what time it is? Time to get them all in there. And now really just, there we go. Get it in, get it mixing. So remember, this is going to cook again as a chowder. I mean, as a cream soup. I got chowder on the mind. So we don't have to totally cook it through. We're just trying to cook it down. Now notice you can't even really see the liquid's right there, just below. We can barely see it. So when that liquid really shows up and these mushrooms are really down, it's good. You can even taste the mushroom if you need to. there we go. Hey, I'm back. Look at that. You can even taste the mushroom. Make sure you like what is happening. And once you're confident in how it feels, that it's tender. It doesn't have to be fully cooked through. It's going to get some more cook time. But mostly cooked through is important. You don't want to have a hard bite any more than you want to have a real hard bite, like with a potato that you're adding to a chowder. So tender, not necessarily full, close, and then you add in the rest of the stuff. At this point, I do have this on low, going along. I have, here, I'll bring you over. You can see that, there it is, ooh. And you know what, that's got a nice temp. I'm gonna turn it off. Because it's gonna stay warm enough to going into, see look, it even had a little skin on there. That's perfect. That is nice and hot, didn't reach a boil, and boom. That will stay nice and warm for 10 minutes or so until this gets ready. We'll be right back. All right, we're 5 minutes in, and as you can see, now this chicken stock is really starting to show. It shows all through. She's boiling nice. It's on this medium-high heat, but it's still not ready. This is gonna reduce further. The veggies are gonna cook down a little more. I want my peppers to be tender, my onions, and these nice hearty mushrooms. They're all gonna be tender, so we'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. I'd say that's the end. Little timer, beautiful. We're gonna take a nice little look at it. When you lift a steaming pot, always lift away. Don't ever lift towards yourself. I don't want anybody to get hurt. So the mushrooms are, they're still holding a lot of their size. These don't cook down nearly as much as a regular mushroom, but this is the one we're worrying about, right? There you go, there's a little chicken, that was the tough one. She's good, beautiful, and nice bit of flavor. This is getting turned off. And I believe this is big enough. Let's see how my judgment is. Let me grab a pot holder or two. Let's see how I do. Oh, facing away. That nice liquid go in there. Oh yeah. Now, if you remember, oops, don't put that there. She was nice and full, this pan, when it was the mushrooms. So the mushrooms and the liquid, whoops, it's slipping, there we go. Combined and now cooked down nicely. See, this is gonna be a mushroom soup like you could not get in any can. The only way you're gonna get that is in your own kitchen. So now we're gonna return the heat. So let's turn it back on. Low for this burner anyways. We're gonna put in the butter, melt it all up. I'm gonna grab a whisk. I'm gonna work with the flour. Use the same pan. You've got nice seasonings in there. Don't waste them. Excuse me. Butter's starting to go. Once this butter is actually melted, I'm gonna add in the flour, slowly whisking it as you go. Once it's all set, it's actually not like a, once the flour is all blended in and it's kind of pasty or whatever, you will actually return the mushrooms, bring in the rest of the ingredients, the light cream and the sour cream, and so I added some. Make our roux. Keep going with the butter. It's gonna get thick. So now I can add the rest and keep this temp nice. It's on low already, very good. But we don't want any lumps, we don't want any flour, we don't want it smooth. And I'm gonna do my best to show you what I got. There we go. All right, see, she's smooth. So now, bring this back, right in. All right, nothing burns, you're not trying to brown this, any of that. You're just trying to bring it back in. Don't need this anymore. I'll switch back to my trusty spatula, and I can see it thickening in there, right there. So that's what the flour is doing. That's our thickening agent. The butter is smoothing everything out, flavors, texture. The flour is thickening everything up, and it's time to bring in the creams and actually turn this into the cream soup. I'm gonna do some of it, get it to start to work in, do a bit more of it. I'm doing about a third, I think. Yeah, whatever, just not a constant. Let it, remember everything you do. And at this stage, there will be no times where you're not gonna be stirring, okay? We're gonna stir it and stir it and stir it. It's gonna come back. When it comes back to a boil, it will give you that real creamy thickness. And you don't have to wait for this. You can do this now. This is the stage you want to do it, to get your little other sour cream in with the rest, and it's all going to come together. So this is a heavenly cream soup. I'm going to bring you close again so you can just see how thick it's already getting, and it will be as good as it looks. Let me get you nice and close here. Let me see what I can do. I think I can get you right over the pan. I'm sure that's pretty good. Looks pretty good from here. You don't need to see me. You kind of want to see what's going on here. Look at the textures. Look at the... Here, watch this. I will switch. I have a little spoon here. I can get rid of the spatula. And yeah, you can see it's starting to actually get a little thick. It is a chowder consistency, but it is anything but a chowder. It's a cream soup. It's a soup, but boy. So I'm gonna let this come back to a boil while I stir the whole time, and gonna cook it for a few more minutes at a boil, just keeping it on low. And I'll put some in a bowl and show you what we got. I'm very pleased with where it's at. This is exactly what I expected, exactly what I wanted, and I really hope I've shown you enough detail that you can do it as well. But let me tell you, you make this cream soup for any kind of a party, and they'll be asking you every single year to bring the cream soup. The moment of truth. I'm gonna get this to focus on you, hopefully, and I even come out of it. Make sure that, look at this. Yeah. Look at those mushrooms. And peppers and onions and parsley and what. I'm almost drooling in this bowl, but I'm holding off. And I want to give a shout to my friend Nancy, to my wife's friend Nancy. I am a hardcore, just give me plain old white bread, the bleachier the better. And she said, please try out this bread. It's a hearty whole grain. It's got sesame seeds. It's got sunflower seeds. I mean, look at this bread. That woman is amazing because I love this bread. There has never been anything other than a white bread that I've liked till I tried her bread. Oh my God. And Nancy, I really hope we get to do a video and of you baking some bread for us, because that would just be the best. All right, I'll swallow my bread. Oh, you know I'm gonna be dunking this, right? So And Craig, a shout out to you for the hen mushrooms that went as a perfect complement to my chickens, let's say. There is not a better cream of mushroom soup that I've ever had. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's as good as any I've ever had. What's a mushroom soup? That's not mostly mushrooms, first off. I mean, I could take that bite. This is soup. It's not chowder. It's not stew. Right? Nancy, this one's for you. Thank you, Nancy. Well, guys, I don't want you to... Yeah, I'll take this away. I don't want you to just sit here and listen to me chew. But that's what I'm going to do. But for right now, thank you so much for all the videos you guys watch, for all you do for us. You keep us totally wanting to just put out more and more. And that's what we're going to keep doing, because you guys keep coming back and we keep loving all the things we get to do. So this was no exception. Thank you, everybody. Till next time. Right. Duane and Meatier, Food, Travel, and Fun. You're talking to me, listening to me, whatever I'm doing. This is Duane. Thank you. Subscribe, like, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And please, make the recipe. And if you do, let me know. Because I want to know if you guys feel that it's really just as good as I feel it is.